Good evening and welcome to Connecting Generations. My name is Nelson Jay, and this is an online fundraising benefit auction for the Center for Wooden Boats, celebrating its 45th anniversary year. I'm coming to you again live from the Wagner Education Center right here on the south shores of Lake Union. And I can't believe it's been nearly a year since we were in this space. I was in this space. And we were conducting my first ever and the Center for Wooden Boats' first ever virtual fundraiser. We're so glad that you've decided to spend your evening with us. I'm thrilled to be here. And before we get started with the formal program, I would like to read a land acknowledgement. The Center for Wooden Boats acknowledges the Coast Salish peoples of this occupied land. The land which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Duwamish, Squamish, and Muckleshoot nations. And now, I would like to introduce my co-host for the evening, a fellow who hails from the great state of Maine, and just moments ago, in terms of geologic time, and I'm talking about exactly a year ago, this very sturdy and very hardy fellow decided that he was going to take on the role of executive director. And he had no idea 3 weeks later that the pandemic would hit, but it did. And so I'm so excited to welcome Josh Anderson to the show. Hey, Josh, how are you?
I'm doing good, Nelson. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for attending. I'm coming to you live from the floating boat shop once again, albeit this time with much fancier cameras and setups and microphones. But yeah, this year has been kind of a wild ride for me and everyone at CWB, and really everyone out there. It was definitely very nerve-wracking at first with just all the uncertainty out there. But, you know, the thing that really happened was when we held our auction last year, that really turned everything around for us here at CWB. We really brought the whole community and the staff together, and we realized that we could adapt on the fly. And we kind of had this feeling that, you know what, we have this, we can do this. And honestly, we just never looked back after that. And it's been a really awesome year to be here. Seen a lot of good things happen. First and foremost, when we were able to start operating, the first thing that we were able to bring back online was free public access to the lake. You know, it's such a core tenet of the Center for Wooden Boats, and being able to replace our Sunday public sale program with the public Peapod program. And it's just been a huge success, and people have really, really loved it. So much so that we're just going to keep doing that program indefinitely. Another thing that we were able to do this past year was operate up at Kama Beach last summer. You know, with our partners over at the Washington State Parks, we had just a really wonderful summer last year, and we're gearing up for another one again this year. And it's going to be opening in just a few weeks. And just generally, this whole past year, being able to operate and get people onto our docks, get them onto boats, and see them smile and enjoy some sunshine, get some wind in their hair. Being able to operate all of our youth programs last summer, from our woodworking camps to our sailing lessons on our Toros, being able to operate our our sailing lessons, Sail Now programs, and of course, being able to operate the livery. The way things are gearing up right now, we know it's going to be a really busy year going into this upcoming summer season, and we couldn't be more thrilled about that. But of course, for so many people out there, they weren't able to come down here and engage with us in person. And so that's really given us a lot of time to be able to pivot and connect via the digital sort of platform and experiences for people like just yourself right now to be able to do at home. I really hope that you all had a chance to go and explore our virtual walkthrough and tour of the Center for Wooden Boats and Wagner Education Center. We're really proud of that, and it's going to be open for you all up until Sunday. I personally put a lot of the information in there. And I think it's just a really good first step of where CWB can go in the future, especially with digital content and being able to provide some backstory and history with all the boats that we have out there. But I'm also really happy that for everything to do with our 45th anniversary, our landmarking, our auction, and our especially last year, our sail pass that we had for Colleen Wagner, and of course, our Third Friday speaker with Judy Romeo. who personally carried on the Third Friday speaker series. So we were just so happy to do that. And for me personally, being able to launch 2 boats this year and share their stories with everybody was just really, really special. And finally, the activities of the past year really showed that we could not just survive, but thrive in this pandemic. And we're really excited to see what the year holds for us in the future. So pass it back to you, Nelson.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, and what an amazing collection of activities and so much resourcefulness here at the Center for Wooden Boats. The staff and the team has been working tirelessly to get people back on the water, and what many people don't realize is that this is a museum that lets you take the artifacts out on the lake. So if you haven't yet had a chance to go out, take advantage of the Center for Wooden Boats livery, I encourage you to do so when you get a chance to come down to South Lake Union. They've got it all set up so you can remain socially distant and very safe there on the water, including, of course, wearing your PFD. So it has been quite a year, Josh. In fact, it's been an incredible 45 years right here at the Center for Wooden Boats. And to commemorate those 45 years, we have a big shout out for Melissa Blue, an artist who created this spectacular poster that you can see on your screens right now. And she's a local artist and such a supporter of the Center for Wooden Boats. And we're excited to announce that this poster will be available for sale soon. So look for that in here at the gift shop at the Wagner Education Center, and of course online as well. So thanks, Melissa, for your incredible contribution to this year's fundraising auction. Also, speaking of the auction and this event, we couldn't do it without our sponsors. So a big shout out to our neighbors just over my shoulder at Amazon, and also our great friends and longtime supporters at Fisheries Supply. So great to have the sponsor support. Thank you, Amazon, and thank you, Fisheries Supply. Well, it's been nearly a year since we gathered in cyberspace for our last virtual fundraiser. And I have to tell you that the team here at Center for Wooden Boats has been so busy. They have totally adopted a can-do spirit, and it's reflected in some of the incredible online programming that they're now offering. In fact, recently, just this week, there were several Facebook live streams that went out, and I'm going to refer to my notes because these are so fun. If you missed them, I'm going to give you a little preview of what you missed, and you can actually go back to Facebook after our program tonight and tune in. So here's what was on Facebook Live just this week from the Center for Wooden Boats. Dustin's dovetail building tutorial. And if you ever needed to brush up on your dovetailing skills, Dustin's got you covered with that one. Also, Nora's Taskmaster-inspired game was, it was a game show, and Nora put together a super fun game show inspired by another game show called Taskmaster, and you have to put together and do various activities, some of which were projects that may have ended up in our online auction. So be sure to look at the online auction. More about that a little later. Also, a big thank you to Diane Lander for her incredible virtual tour of her lovely wooden boat, Marianne 2. Marianne 2, and that's right here at Lake Union. And also, there was a tour aboard Center for Wooden Boats' very own Puffin Steamboat. So these are the types of online, hard-hitting Facebook Live videos that you can count on from Center for Wooden Boats. We hope that you'll take a chance to look at those sometime soon. So now, let's get back to the captain of the Center for Wooden Boats pivot. He's the king, and his troops are in step with him. Here he is, Josh Anderson.
Well, thanks very much, Nelson. So this past week, we had the opportunity to go pay Mike Wagner a visit over at the Wagner Floating Home. And he had a really nice message that he wanted to share with all of you right here.
Hi, I'm Mike Wagner, here at where the Center for Wooden Boats began, at the old boathouse, where the dream started, and it was a great place to grow up. I gotta say, my first words were quack quack. I was a little scared of the water at first. I fell in, and when I was little, so not until did I see other people having fun around the water did I really become a little more interested Sailing, my dad taught me to row and sail at a very young age. I could remember being in a rowboat with a big life jacket with a rope tied on the end of it. It was kind of like a playpen for me. I was probably 4. Dad taught me to sail ran a pram when I was around 6. My mom thought I wasn't ready, but my dad pushed me out. It was really special. Houseboat life has changed a lot. In the old days, it was a haven for artists and hippies, kind of, and today it is a haven for yuppies. So it's just a little different, you know. And the whole city has changed in a big way. So yeah, it was great growing up here, and it's unfortunate that we need to pass the torch of the houseboat to someone else, but my brother and I are going to start our lives and our dreams like my folks did. So I want to thank all the staff and especially all the volunteers at the Center for Wooden Boats for everything they did. It is truly the life's blood of the center. The center couldn't run without the help of, you know, the volunteers and the special people that make the events happen, like the auction that you're doing right now. So I wish my folks were here, but I know that they'd be happy with what's going on and the progress that's being made. And I know the center will live on. Their dream will live on. So it's a great thing.
I like hearing from Mike there. I hope you all enjoyed his message. And I also really hope that you all have a drink readily available to you right now. I just wanted to take a moment here and offer up a cheers to Dick and Colleen, just to the legacy they left behind. So to the Wagners, everyone. That was real whiskey. Well, I can't see all your faces, so I hope you're cheers. But, you know, the more I learn about the legacy that the Wagners left behind, the more I've learned about just the people that have really connected with that mission over time. There's just so many wonderful stories out there. And one story that we'd really like to share right now is of the Whitecamp family. So Eric Whitecamp has been a longtime volunteer with CWB. I think I first met him at one of our festivals when he was crewing on Admirable. He's also helped in you know, the Sail Now program teaching. And of course, most importantly for us, he's one of our rescue divers when we need someone to come dive for us. And then this past year, his son, Clark, has actually worked for us right here in this boat shop in delivery. And it's just been a wonderful addition to the CWB crew. And so I'd like to let the Whitecamps tell a little bit about their own story to you all.
Hi, I'm Eric Whitecamp, and this is my son,
Clark Whitecamp.
and my daughter.
Nora Whitecamp.
So I've been volunteering at the Center for Wooden Boats for about 30 years. And my son's been helping me volunteer for about the last 20. So, and now my daughter's helping me, and she's also helping my son, who works on the staff.
Yeah, I've been working for the last year, and my sister has been kind enough to help every Saturday, so we have another person for all the rentals.
Yep, from the time these two were about 2 years old, I've been dragging them out with me when I teach sailing or when I take a free sail group out on a Sunday. So I'll be focusing on sailing the boat and teaching people how it works or explaining Lake Union. Meantime, they typically are hanging off the back, dragging the boat on a string, or now that they've gotten older, they started taking over the tiller and then they took over the sheets. So got to the point where I could just hang out and focus on teaching and explaining the area, and they would take care of sailing the boat for me. One day Shelby called me up, asked me if I wanted to go diving that weekend. My question was, what did you lose? Her response was, a boat. This boat, actually.
Yeah. What happened was this had been donated to us. There had been 4 months of fixing this boat up, and it was put in the water. It had a leaky centerboard that was slowly filling up, and then back cleat came off, and the boat dropped. So when we got here, the bow was just visible under the dock.
Yep, and it was hanging upright with the stern touching the bottom. So Clark and I came and put our gear on, went down, filled it with air, brought in a couple of, 5-gallon buckets
We had
actually.
2 5-gallon buckets on each back end, 3 on the front.
something like that, all full of air, trying to lift it back up to the surface. And once we got it to the surface, then we put in the bilge pumps, and it was a game of getting more water out of the center than was coming in from the sides. But I've been volunteering here with Clark's help for about, what now, 20 some years, because you were about 2 years old when I started taking you out when I was teaching sailing.
I had a little sailboat I would drag behind the boats he was teaching, and so I was having fun, I was occupied, and then every time we did a man overboard drill, I would watch the float, make sure we didn't lose it.
Yep. So we joked that I was teaching sailing and parenting at the same time.
Well, thank you to both the White Camps for sharing that story with us. You know, that boat project, it's a Haven 12.5 that they're sitting in. It's a boat I was really excited about, and to see it underwater after months of work was a little disheartening, but I can safely report today that due to the work that both of them have put in, that boat is floating. We just got the mast in today, and should be ready for everyone to go sailing very shortly here. And so, you know, this year we're celebrating 45 years as an organization. And the story of CWB really is one that is just constantly changing and adapting. And we're going to have to evolve as time goes on with our surroundings. But it's, I think, really important to remember our history and to use it as a guide for charting the course to the future. So we have a short little video we'd like to show you about where we've come from.
The Center for Wooden Boats is a community-powered organization at its heart. Dick and Colleen instilled that vision to the core of the organization from the very start 45 years ago.
One morning at breakfast, Colleen said we have to do something about the lake. We have seen the end of an era. We discovered that people were having an opportunity to once again learn through direct experience. Picking up the oar and rowing, picking up the helm and sailing, and not just looking at something historic, but being a part of something historic.
In that time, the mission has never wavered from providing a living, hands-on, accessible way to experience history and our shared connection to the water with the care and support from hundreds of thousands of individuals who've connected with that mission.
We want this to be where people would come and find themselves smarter, happier, and more proud of their accomplishments.
The Center for Wooden Boats has grown from humble beginnings at the Wagner home to an ever-growing campus centered around Lake Union, but never solely confined there. We've built a historic floating infrastructure unique in its ability to provide urban access to the water. We've developed a working boatyard to preserve the skills and traditions nearly lost to time. Over the span of 19 years, we helped provide a turn-of-the-century fishing resort into present-day Cammon Beach State Park, so generations can experience the quiet peace of Puget Sound. And most recently, we've expanded our South Lake Union campus to the Wagner Education Center to act as a gateway to the maritime world. We have developed hundreds of programs over the years to introduce countless individuals from all backgrounds and experiences to our shared maritime heritage. Whether it's building a toy boat, paddling an umiak, taking a sailing lesson, attending a festival, or learning to build something with your own two hands, CWB has a special way of connecting with people and drawing them into our community. That community has in turn carried CWB on its back through good times and bad. As Dick always said, everyone who comes here learns something and teaches us something. This past year has surely been a challenge for everyone. 1 year ago, at the beginning of the pandemic, CWB, along with many other organizations, had to close their doors. But something truly special happened as we pulled together to keep this organization floating. Our community, our staff, our board members, our volunteers, supporters, other organizations, and even the government all stepped up to carry us through and get our docks open again. It's that energy and sense of ownership from our community that gives me the confidence CWB will not just survive, but thrive and grow in new ways over the next 45 years. We are forever grateful for the Wagner's vision and eternally optimistic for what the future holds for the Center for Wooden Boats. This organization is a true gem because of all of you, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
You know, the Center for Wooden Boats is a really, really special place. And the only way we're able to keep delivering our mission and keep it a special place is just from the outpouring of the community that we have and people just like yourselves. So really, thank you all for helping support us. And that's really what we're here to do tonight, is to help support the Center for Wooden Boats. And with that, thank you, and I'm going to pass it back on to Nelson.
Well, thank you, Josh, and I hope you'll stick around with me as we work our way through this very important raise the paddle moment. And I wanted to let those of you at home know that everything that you saw in that video is real. It's authentic. The Center for Wooden Boats right here in South Lake Union is being encroached on by high-tech businesses that you probably use every day. But I'm here to tell you, wooden boats are still being made. In fact, in my hand, I have a collection of wood shavings from the floor. This is an authentic working boat shop, and it's so cool to be in here broadcasting with a lot of technology, but celebrating a rich and historic tradition of boat building right here on the shores of Lake Union. So tonight, that's why we're here. We're here to keep this legacy, to connect generations for years to come. So, Josh, we're going to get started tonight, and those of you at home, at the official level, at the giving level, that I'm going to announce in just a second. But before we get there, I wanted to remind guests that our goal tonight is 100% participation. So regardless of what level that you can give tonight, we would just ask that you participate, because every dollar is crucial to the Center for Wooden Boats. And many want to know, how do we give? Well, it's easy. You just jump onto the tablet or your phone, or after the show, you can go from your desktop and you visit cwb.org/give. That's cwb.org/give. So it's that easy. And the giving window will be opened all night, in fact, until tomorrow. And if you go to cwb.org/give, you can give there in perpetuity as often and as much as you'd like. So thank you for your support, and thank you at home for what you're about to do for the Center for Wooden Boats. So officially, the much anticipated opening level is the $10,000 level. So if you can give at that $10,000 level, friends, now is the time to do that. And I'm very pleased to announce that we actually have an anonymous donor getting us started tonight at that $10,000 level. So if you'd like to help and join that $10,000 anonymous donor, now's the time to make that gift. So let's let those gifts keep rolling in. And as they come in, we will we'll toss to, you can give me a wave. We have a monitor in front of each of us, so I'm going to look down from time to time, and Josh will look up, and we'll look up and down and all over, and we'll try to make sure we recognize all the gifts tonight. So anybody at that $10,000 level besides the anonymous donor that I need to know about, Josh?
I'm going to go with no, but there's still plenty of time.
There is plenty of time. And we should note, speaking of which, this is Raise the Paddle. You can see on our virtual paddle raise that through pre-committed gifts and some early bidding on auction items, we're already at nearly $29,000. So we are off to a great start. Thanks for what you've done at home. Well, we're going to move on, and in the spirit of 45 years of excellence right here at the Center for Wooden Boats, our next giving level is the $4,500 level, or around that. So if that number is on your heart and speaks to your heart at the $4,500 level, $4,500, celebrating 45 years here at the Center for Wooden Boats, now is the time to make that gift. And Josh, tell us about our $4,500 or thereabouts donors.
We're actually seeing some activity on that front. So right now we have first Dave Erskine and Karen Breitmeyer coming in at $5,000. So a huge thank you to both of them. That's just coming through right now. We have Elsie and Stephen Hulsizer, wonderful board member, done a lot of work for us on the MS Wolf, one of our charter boats this year. So huge shout out to them. Who else do we have here? Oh, Diane Lander, one of our newest board members. She just joined the board just a few months ago. A huge shout out to her. I really hope you all got to see her tour that she did for us, I think on Wednesday. It's back up on our website, but touring her wonderful boat, Marion 2. Also shout out, she just had a article written about it in Wooden Boat Magazine. So I really encourage you to go check that out. It's a wonderful story. And it looks like one more is coming through. Jim Duncan, of course, Jim Duncan coming through for us. I got the chance to work with Jim a lot on the Wagner Education Center. He's a huge reason why that building opened, and he's continuing to help us now. So thank you to all of you, really.
Wow, that's outstanding. So by my count, that's four at 4,500 or 5,000. So that's really close to 20,000 or so at that level only. So that's fantastic. Nicely done. Thank you so much to our very generous donors at that $4,500 level, celebrating the 45 years of the Center for Wooden Boats. So if you'd like to get in at that level or any level, now is the time to make those gifts. And as we work our way through the giving levels, friends, I want to let you know there's going to be a giving level for everybody. So no matter what level feels comfortable or perhaps a little bit of a stretch or a lot of bit of a stretch, we'll have a level for you. And the next one that we're going to talk about is the $2,500 level. And if you can help at the $2,500 level, right now is the time to make that gift. Josh, tell us about our donors at or around the $2,500 level.
Yeah, so first I'd just like to remind everybody, if you can't make the donation right now, you can make a pledge right on our website as well. So you don't actually have to transfer the funds right now. But see what we have here. Well, actually, coming in at $3,000, blowing past our level here, we have Randy Ermson and Eliza Davidson, two also wonderful, or Randy's a board member for us, so huge thank you to them, been really involved for us. And then, of course, Walt and Margie Plimpton coming in and helping us out at the $3,000 level. This is the Plimptons, just so you all know, also helped a lot with the Valso 16, so really helping CWB out a lot this year. Let's see what else we have going on.
Well, those are outstanding. Do we have more at that level to talk about?
It looks like we do, actually.
Great,
Clay
keep them
Goose
coming.
Thomas, our number one night watchman, owner of Sea Fever, coming in at $2,500. And it turns out his company is going to match his donation, which is a great reminder for everyone out there. If you work for a company like Boeing or Microsoft, or ask your employer, a lot of them will actually match your gifts as well. And it's a great way to make your donations go just that extra mile for us at CWB.
That's such a great point. Those matching gifts, friends, those are crucial, and they can help leverage your dollar to turn $1 into $2. And if you work at our neighbors at the Gates Foundation, your $1 becomes $3. So those matching gifts are fantastic, and thanks for that reminder, Josh. That's a great segue into our next giving level. Remember, friends, any level at any time is what we're all about tonight here on behalf of Center for Wooden Boats. But our next official level is the $1,000 level. So if you can give at the $1,000 level, make that gift right now, and you'll feel so great about it, knowing that you are helping preserve the legacy and the commitment to preserving the Puget Sound and Lake Union's maritime heritage right here at the Center for Wooden Boats. So the $1,000 level, Josh, do we have anybody at the $1,000 level that we can give a shout out to?
Hold on, we gotta go back in time here. It seems like we're getting some donations rolling in here. We have another $2,500 at Scott Foster coming in.
Thank you, Scott.
So thank you, Scott. Woo! Woo-hoo. He's a big help. He worked a lot on the kit and helped getting that launched. So major thank you to Scott there. But yeah, at the $1,000 level, let's see here. Sorry, I got a spreadsheet that's being updated in real time here, so we couldn't.
The technology is mind-blowing with these virtual events, Josh. It's incredible. I'm surrounded by bandsaws, drill presses, and giant belt sanders, and we've got spreadsheets happening as well. It's crazy.
I'm a wooden boat builder. There's a reason I became a carpenter. But here we are using modern technology as best we can.
That's right.
So at the $1,000 level here, I just want to remind everybody, $1,000 and up has you be in the captain's circle, which comes with all sorts of other benefits. We try to hold special events for the captain's circle to help provide you with more information about what the organization's doing. We've added a lot of extra member benefits as well. It's a membership level. We have cards that are coming out this year. You have reciprocal membership at a whole host of museums across the country, actually. So it's a really, really great level to give and make a huge difference for the Center for Wooden Boats. And coming in, what we have is we have Dave Savage. Dave is kind of head of Lavengro and also donating charters, which you can go bid on for Lavengro. So a huge thank you to Dave Savage, the Northwest Schooner Society. Emil and Elisa Anderson. Emil is our board president, in no relation to me, mind you. And Emil also donated some home smoked salmon, actually, that you can bid on right now as well. So I highly recommend bidding on that. Oh, and that's right. Emil's company also matches. So once again, matching makes
Love
a huge
those
difference.
matches. Keep the matches coming, and keep those $1,000 gifts coming, and 500 at any level. Keep those gifts coming.
Yes.
Who else is in, Josh?
We're not done yet. We have Marty Johnson, another one of our one of our board members and former volunteer of the year. So huge thanks out there to Marty. He doing real great work in the sale loft as well. So just a reminder, all sorts of ways you can give. Doesn't have to be just finances. You can come in, volunteer your time, and make a huge difference at CWB as well. The whole community is really what makes a difference here. We also have Ann Garrett and Peter Jarvis. Interesting note, I just found out Ann is head of the North American Dragon Class Association. And at our North Lake Union site, we actually have one of the shipwrights that's working there right now is completely restoring a Dragon Class. So the two of them have actually started to get to talk to one another, but it's a really cool story there. We also have June and Joel Arnold, the parents of Henry. So Henry is a employee for us actually the last few years. He worked in our youth department last year, and he worked as a livery attendant before that. He's actually going to Mass Maritime Academy. Don't want to get those confused. Trying to become a merchant mariner, and he should be getting pretty close at this point. We have Karen Lazan as well, so huge thank you to Karen. And coming in at the last second is my parents, it turns out. So huge thank you back to Massachusetts, where I should correct the record. I'm technically from Massachusetts, not Maine, but
That's my,
I get trouble for that every time.
So, Josh, you mentioned something, and it's a great reminder for me, but the Center for Wooden Boats has 3 locations. The one that we're both broadcasting from here in South Lake Union, they have the North Lake Union spot just up near Gasworks Park, and then further afield, further north, an hour and a half or so, right up on Camano Island is the Kama Beach State Park with the northern outpost. And it's so cool that these are all open to the public. No membership required. You can come down here and experience authentic wooden boats, learn to row a boat, learn to sail a boat, learn to build a boat, all through the Center for Wooden Boats. And that's why we're raising money tonight. This is our $1,000 level. And I'm here with Josh Anderson, Executive Director for the Center for Wooden Boats. And we are moving on to the $500 level. And if we... we're not.
I am sorry. We have...
That's a good reason to stop. Keep it going, Josh.
Wait, back at the $2,500 level now, we have Lori O'Toole, former board president. Huge thank you to Lori. This is really exciting. Thank you, everybody. And the $1,000 level, we have Lynn McCoy, who's one of my absolute favorite volunteers. She was volunteering right here in this boat shop, like one of my first days ever as the boatwright, over 4 years ago now at this point. So huge thank you to all of you donating right now. I really, really appreciate that.
That's outstanding. So if you haven't yet given, feel free to put in a $500 gift, $1,000, $2,500, $4,500 in honor of our 45th anniversary. So at this point, the $250 level is our next official giving level, $500 level, even the $100 level. Any of those levels, go ahead and make those gifts now, any level at any time, and we're going to try to get back to Josh for another shout out to everybody that's been donating. And thank you for what you're doing on behalf of the Center for Wooden Boats right now, right here in real time. Josh, who's next?
All right, so at the $500 level, starting to be a lot of names here. I'm sorry. So we have Ken Meyer. Ken owns a lovely Padamar, the Classic Yacht Association, and actually made a wonderful desk for one of our former auctions that I'm currently using, handmade wooden desk. So Ken's a very, very talented individual. Charles Fawcett, who's donated actually quite a bit of artwork to this auction. He does wonderful, actually, I'm not going to talk about the art too much because I'm going to say all the wrong things, but it's beautiful. I have one of his of the kitten, actually. So Charles is a really, really great, and he's also very involved with the schooner Lavengro as well. We got Ross Bond and Jill Marsden, Sally Crowell, Shelley Westover, Marco Mora Lenti, Brant Fatz, my predecessor. Brant donates a ton of time He's literally been super helpful this whole transition and getting through the whole pandemic, and always on the phone, helping just answer a whole host of questions. So huge thank you to Brant. Gary Brewer as well. Haven't seen Gary in a while because of the pandemic. Hope to see him soon. How you doing, Gary? Big time volunteer with the kitten, built the Ore House extension. So some really great names on this list.
That's great. And Josh,
right
what level are these coming in at? Are these just on the list?
That was all $500 levels. So
wow,
thank you,
outstanding.
everybody.
Thank you to all of our $500 donors. That is fantastic. Keep those gifts coming. And if you missed a level, or if there's a level on your heart that we haven't talked about, you can give again. That's totally acceptable, and we appreciate people giving at multiple levels, multiple times. So feel free to do that. Don't let us hold you back. Josh, how about at the anybody else at the $500 level, or even onto the $250 level?
Now I'm starting to get confused with going back in time in these spreadsheets. So at the $1,000 level, we have a Karen Blassie, Christy. See, I'm going to mispronounce everyone's names here. Cypri. Thank you, Christine and Karen.
It's
we
the
really
thought that
appreciate
counts.
We have Greg Enke at the $2,500 level. Thank you. Quickly scrolling here. Oh man, Ryan and Becky Merrill coming in. Man, these are popping in real time here. Christina coming in, who I've been working with as a coach. So I'm glad she's watching. Hi, Christina. Eleanor. Eleanor is is another good volunteer. She's been, I think, hosting one of the rooms right now. So a huge thank you to Eleanor. So yeah, I'm getting confused.
Well, that's okay. We want to confuse you. Let's continue confusing Josh. Let's send him more donations. So we can officially move on to the $100 level. So if you haven't yet given and $100 works for you, now's the time to make that gift. And if you missed a level or you want to give again, this is a great time to do that. You can give 45 times at this level in honor of each year that the Center for Wooden Boats has been in existence. That would be a fantastic $4,500 donation, which is one of our unique giving levels tonight as well. And so much love for the Center for Wooden Boats, and for good reason. Connecting generations to the water through shared time with wooden boats. Sailing, rowing, and building together. So you heard about it from the white camps. These are the kinds of connections that we are fostering tonight through your incredible generosity. So thank you for that, and let's keep those gifts coming. The $100 level, how's it sound?
Thank you to Alex Bennett over here at the $1,000 level. Thank you to Susie Norgard coming in at $500. Still haven't even made it to the $100 level. There's too many names.
That's great. We want to make it hard. Keep those gifts coming. And look on the screen too, you can see those names scrolling. And thank you so much to everybody for their incredible generosity. And it's clear that the Center for Wooden Boats means a lot to so many people, because we have volunteers who spend their time here. They lend their talents, and now they're sending us their treasure. So thank you for that. It's so special.
All right, I'll try to do one more quick round here, but a huge shout out and thank you to Shelley Westover, Regan Edwards, Daniela Vidal, Kath McCoy, Amber Quintal, Brian Stack, Charlie Heller, Corey Lindgren, Carl Nelson, William Baldwin, Jim Bailey. Jim was here volunteering again after a little bit of a hiatus, so great to see Jim again. Greg Beatty, Dennis Rael, Stephanie and Zig, Carl and Jonathan Frage, Linda and Paul Sussman, Auntie Masters, Tyson Trudell, Henry Gordon, Kathleen Howitt, Jane Kibridge, see Mark Bernard, Tammy Wataker, Facebook, it just says Facebook, so thank you Facebook, I guess. Jeff Sanders, Jamie Walker, Daniela, Jeannie Sarto, Jeff Wheeler, big shout out to Jeff. So they're coming in, and keep them coming in, please.
Keep them coming in. Friends, the giving opportunities will be open all evening, all night, until tomorrow, and in perpetuity, honestly. And remember, that way to give, if you just joined us, it's cwb.org/give. And you can hop on there, make a gift, make a donation. And if there's a number on your heart and you'd like to be anonymous, you can connect with the Center for Wooden Boats via the phone number next week. Call them on Monday. and you can participate and give in so many ways. So thank you so much for what you've done tonight. So many familiar names, so many volunteers, so many board members and staff members, and outgoing staff members still supporting the Center for Wooden Boats. It's just fantastic to see. Well, we're going to be here for a bit. We'll try to get an update on our giving in just a bit, but right now we're going to do a little transition, and we're going to move into a description of our premier auction items. Josh, thank you for those updates. The hardest working fellow in the boathouse tonight with all those names to read. That is fantastic. Thanks for making Josh's job that much more challenging. And we're excited to talk about some premier auction items. And just to let you know, there are 2 closings in our auction. The online auction has been going all week, and our premier auction items, we have 10 of them, and I'm going to zip through those, and they close tonight at 8:30 p.m. sharp. So if you want to bid on the auction items, go to cwb.org/auction, and that will get you to the Greater Giving website where you can register if you haven't yet done so. And you can hop on there, set up an account. It's very easy. It's encrypted. It's totally safe. And then you can bid on incredible auction items. So the first 10 items are our premier auction items, and those will be closing tonight. That's Saturday, March 20th at 8:30 p.m. Everything else, items 11 on, and there's like 60-something items, everything else closing tonight at 10 p.m. And here's a little tip. You do not have to stay up until 10 p.m. to bid, or even you don't have to stay up until 8:30 to bid. You can set the auto bid feature on your Greater Giving software, and it will bid for you. You can put a max bid, and as long as bidding is happening and your max bid hasn't yet been reached, it will automatically bid for you. So that's a way to do it if you don't want to miss out. Well, here we go. So for our online auction items, these are terrific and only available through the Center for Wooden Boats. I've seen and sold some of these, but never quite like this. Here we go. Premier auction items closing at 8:30 p.m. tonight. Item number 1. This is remarkable. This is a cruise and canless date. And this is a chance to head out on the water in a fantail. The Center for Wooden Boats historic Columbia River bow picker, the MS Wolf, will be your boat for the day. It's a 90-minute charter for you and up to 6 people. And then you can saunter up the hill to Canlis. And friends, Canlis is in fact open. In fact, Canlis has built an entire yurt village, a mini yurt village, where each yurt is its own dining pod. So it's fantastically elegant and beautiful, high above Lake Union. You can look down and see where you were cruising, or you can do it another night. But this is item number 1, canless, date night, and cruise. So it's a 90-minute cruise and a $600 canless gift card, and it's right there at the top at Seattle's premier fine dining establishment. Dine in a yurt, cruise in a wooden boat. It's a very wooden and breezy experience. Thank you to our donors right here at the Center for Wooden Boats. Next up, item number 2, cocktails with New York Times best-selling author Kristen Hanna. And this item, and before I should mention that the bidding on the canvas package, bidding is currently at, well, our top bid right now, $1,080. And so remember, every dollar you spend above fair market value is a tax-deductible donation to the Center for Wooden Boats. So bidding on the canvas package right now at $1,080. Next bidding is at $1,130 on package number 1. Moving back to package 2, this is cocktails with New York Times bestselling author Kristen Hanna, and the current bid is $775. This is a fabulous opportunity to you get to meet 2 fabulous people. You get to meet author Kristen Hanna, and you also get to meet board member and captain of the boat, Diane Lander, aboard her 1928 42-foot Marianne II. And you'll be together with New York Times bestselling author Kristen Hanna for cocktails and a book signing. So you and 3 guests, a total of 4 people, get to enjoy a lavish cocktail party and a very special meet and greet with New York Times bestselling author Kristen Hanna. And all of that takes place at the Seattle Yacht Club's outstation at Port Madison on Bainbridge Island. What a unique opportunity. That sounds like a ton of fun. It's a mutually agreeable date, friends, and it's available July 1st through September 15th, 2021. And there are some holidays and weekends that may not work, so be sure to connect with Diane to arrange this fabulous item. Number 2, the next bid is at $825. Item number 3, an aerial tour of Seattle in one of my favorite vehicles, which is the de Havilland Beaver, the fabulous float plane that you see soaring over Seattle on a daily and hourly basis. They fly right out of here with Kenmore Air at Lake Union, but this particular de Havilland Beaver is based out of Boeing Field. It's amphibious. It can land on the tarmac, but also on the lake. And this is item number 3. Special thanks to our donor, Stephen Ratzlaff, for this fabulous tour. And you'll head out over Woodinville, Lake Sammamish, Lake Washington's, Lake Union. You'll get a full tour of the Puget Sound area right here in the Seattle, King County metro area. Super fun, designed for 3 to 4 guests, and you can connect directly with Pilot Stephen to arrange that. Currently, the top bid is at $800, next bid at $900. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you for your flying service in the trusty and legendary de Havilland Beaver. Next up, item number 4, the Lake Union Dry Dock Company and Lake Union Dreamboat Tour. This lake that we are on the shores of is an authentic working lake and has been for over 100 years. There are commercial ship repair businesses right here in the lake, and that requires a dry dock, and the dry dock is sunk underneath a boat that needs work, and then it's raised up through the use of air, and it lifts the boat up, and they can do all sorts of things. And they are super impressive to see. If you haven't ever been on a dry dock, it's quite an experience, and you'll get a chance to tour the Lake Union Dry Dock. It's been in operations over 100 years. This is for 6 people, and you then get to tour the Big Blue, that's the Big Blue Boathouse, and then home to Diane Lander's 1928 Lake Union Dreamboat, and that's the Marianne II that we heard about with the book signing. So that includes adult beverages and appetizers. Great opportunity to support the Center for Wooden Boats. Thanks to Diane Lander for this incredibly generous donation. 2 items that she's donated, and this bidding currently at $500, and the auction closing in just over 2.5 hours. So closing at 8:30 p.m. tonight. Thank you. So that's not over 2 hours. That's over 1 hour, just over an hour away. Next up, item number 5, an afternoon cruise aboard an Oceans, aboard Oceans, which is a Sabre 40. And this is a fabulous way to get out on the water. They always say it's great to have a friend, particularly if your friend has a boat. So in this case, your friends are Liz and Warren Wilder, and this is a chance to get out on their fabulous boat. It's a 2 to 3 hour afternoon sail aboard Oceans, which is, of course, a Sabre 40, followed by snacks and beverages. This is for 4 people, and it is a mutually agreeable date, and there are some boarding requirements. See the fine details in Greater Giving for that. Bidding right now at $450, and the next, at $400, next bid is at $450. That is item number 6. And, that was item number 5. Item number 6 is right here at the Center for Wooden Boats, and it is a chance to use the floating event space that the Center for Wooden Boats offers out for weddings and other events. You can rent it on your own, or you can just buy this package, and all proceeds support Center for Wooden Boats. Included with this package, which is it's a 4-hour floating boathouse facility rental, and a 2-hour charter cruise for you and your guests. So you get to use one of the Center for Wooden Boats boats. They'll provide a pilot, and it will either be the Fantail launch, which is electric, or the Columbia River bow picker, which is the MS Wolf. Either vessel is sure to wow your guests. Memories for a lifetime. You get to use the whole space. You could have a post-quarantine fete there in the boathouse. That would be a lot of fun. A great way to support Center for Wooden Boats And currently, top bidding is at $1,000 for that. You can accommodate perhaps 25 people or more, depending on whatever phase we're in. And we've got items 7, 8, 9, and 10 coming up. Sailing on the schooner Lavengro, which is a great opportunity, bidding right now at $660 on that one. And then we've got item number 8, sailing lessons and a picnic lunch for 2 aboard a wooden boat with Hiroko Sugiyama. That would be a lot of fun. That's item number 8. Currently bidding is at $350. We have 2 pieces of remarkable art in the premier auction, and that is item number 9, the Steve Jensen porthole art. It is oil paint with poured acrylic. Spectacular piece, suitable for framing or hanging in your home or workspace. And then finally, and certainly not least, item number 10, the pair of Haida canoe paddles produced by Sadutz right here on Lake Union. And of course, Sadutz is our Center for Wooden Boats artist in residence. There are 2 paddles. Here's how it works. The top bidder receives the paddle of their choice and a tour of Lake Union with Sadutz in his canoe, and that is a tour for 6. The second place bidder, the runner-up bidder, gets the second paddle. There is no tour with the second paddle. So those are the premier items closing tonight at 8:30 p.m., and we are so excited to get back to you with an update on our giving. Josh, how are we doing on the giving tonight?
Yeah, it seems like we're doing really, really well. I think we're at, it's really hard to tell where we're at, but I think we're at over $90,000 so far. So getting really, really close to our goal.
Yes.
So a huge thank you to everybody there.
Wow, that's fantastic. So getting close to our goal, not quite there. If somebody's feeling compelled to close the gap, they're welcome to continue making a donation through cwb.org/give of any amount. So we're look at that. We're at nearly $93,000 right now. Keep those gifts coming. Let's try to push that paddle up over the $100,000 mark tonight so we can achieve our goal. And we've got the rest of the auction items, friends, closing tonight at 10 p.m. So items 11 and up closing at 10 p.m. tonight. And thank you for all of your incredible support and donations and generosity tonight. Wow.
Yeah, I just want to add a huge thank you to everyone for participating in this again this year. And just to remind everybody that we have a Zoom after hours sort of party, mingle, whatever you want to call it. So hopefully we'll see you all in the Zoom chat rooms again right after this.
That's correct. Keep those gifts coming. Thank you so much. He's Josh Anderson. I'm Nelson J. And it has been a pleasure. Thank you for your support of the Center for Wooden Boats. Have fun in the Zoom meetings, and good night, everyone.
I see feathers on every wave from every old used to be. Once you loved, did you let them dream? I still lose, did I speak to myself? Oh, I ask out of nothing to the birds. Why I'm singing still, am I singing still?
I'll draw us a map. You bring your tools. We could build a rocket in a day or two. If we shoot for the stars, maybe we'll land on the moon. Who's got time for feeling sad when there's so much fun to be had? Oh darling, let's be adventurers. Let's live like kids and not grow old. Let's love the little things. Let's hold on tight and not let go. Oh, 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 oh. There's life to